The Golden Knights become the first NHL team to 20 wins as they turn to Stone in overtime for the game-winning goal. Tell you all about it next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. You can find us wherever you get your podcast at places like Apple, Spotify, and Odyssey. And make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by the Gametime app. Create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. So, Chris, at the airport leaving town the other night, right? I just have a question for you, maybe hypothetical, what have you. Now, NHL players are said to be the toughest athletes going. However, I'm getting on the flight the other night. There are at least 5 or 6 cowboys, because National Finals Rodeo is here, limping to the gate, limping. I go, rough rodeo, huh? Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah, rough one.
This guy ran over by a freaking bull. Of course,
Who's tougher? Who's tougher? No, because everyone's, oh, these are the toughest athletes in the world, hockey players. No, the rodeo cowboy, I think, has the edge there. I believe so.
I don't know. I'll take the clown that's standing in front of a 110-mile-an-hour slap shot versus the clown that's standing in front of a horse or a bull.
No, the clown at the rodeo takes a beating. I used to know one. He lives in Arizona.
That's my point. That's my point. I'm saying
you guys are crazy.
You got a couple of goofballs with some loose screws as far as NHL goaltenders and rodeo people and rodeo clowns go. At least the clowns wearing the goalie mask and the helmets, they got some pad on. That's clowns in a good way, but goalies themselves will tell you they're wired a little bit differently, folks. So if you take any offense to that, you're not an NHL goaltender.
No. And there's not enough whiskey in the world. Because, like, we used to go after the rodeo because I was hanging out with some rodeo cats or whatever you call them, dudes. And we would go out and we would start drinking back in the drinking era, like till 3, 4 in the morning. And they would just drink away the pain and go back on the bull the next day. It's amazing. Okay. Oh, this is a hockey show. Sorry. So VGK, Chris, has tallied points now in 9 consecutive games, right? After last night's 5-4 victory over the Flames in overtime. It was the 20th win of the season for the Golden Knights. Mark Stone, 4 points, including the game winner. Chandler Stevenson now has points in 3 straight games. Jonathan Marchessault had 3 points. Jack Eichel has, an 8-game point streak going. So everything's starting to come together for the VGK. It's not how they get points, but they're doing it every night.
Yeah, resiliency. This is game 30, and it just shocks me. And there's a couple of just people that just like to, I don't know, just like to troll and stuff like that. And the Golden Knights gave up lead against the Sharks. So
that's
but you always do it. You're different. These are people that are they gave up a point to the Flames. They gave up a point to the Sharks. Like, it's game 30. It's not gonna be pretty. And Coach Cassidy was asked in quotes about blowing leads at the end of the game, and Cassie got a little fiery with one of the media members, and it was, well, we got 52 games to figure it out. And I forgot exactly what it was, but he politely asked the media member to write about something and maybe a little bit more positive about the team, like the fact that they're the first team to 20 wins, they've got 45 points and all of this stuff. But back to the original topic, resiliency, finding ways to win. Again, the dog days of summer, I don't care how it happens. It honestly doesn't matter. Get 2 points in the bank and move forward. The Flames aren't going to be contending for the division at the end of the season. They can have an extra point. Who cares? The Golden Knights want the Flames in the playoffs. If anything, it's good. It was good strategy by the Golden Knights to let them get the points. And if the game against Ottawa is a 6-5 ugly win for the Golden Knights, wonderful. If the game against Ottawa on Sunday is a 4-3 ugly win, great. Who cares? Keep banking points right now.
And Mark Stone, 2 goals, 2 assists in the game, including the game winner at a minute 11. Just watching the game last night, I'm really surprised based on what we said during the offseason. We had the under a number of games played for Mark Stone, but physically, he's holding up.
He was holding up through January last year too. And I'm not saying I expect anything to happen, but back injuries, whether you're, common folk like me and you, or at least me, Tony's not common, back injuries just kind of pop up when you least expect it, whether you're an NHL athlete or just a regular member of society. And hopefully, for all the regular members of society, you don't have back problems. And hopefully our captain doesn't have any back problems either. But Stone looks good. I mean, he's not going to win too many races and stuff. And Stone was asked about his speed burst at the end of the game after in the presser. He kind of chuckled it off, but he did say he had a step on the breakaway, and all you got to do is get in and make a good shot on the rookie Dustin Wolf, who was okay, but he wasn't great. The Golden Knights took advantage of the situation. And something else that we talked about with a couple different players in the postgame presser was if they were in the know about the Flames' previous game. So the Flames were in Colorado, right? There you go. Good Tony back, everybody. The Flames were in Colorado the night before, sporting a 5-3 lead going to the third period. They end up losing the game 6-5. They go 3-0 in the third period. And Carlson mentioned he knew what they went through the night before and that they might be a little bit tired. Mark Stone brought it up himself without even being asked. So the Golden Knights are in the know about what the team went through before they came. And I put a tweet out there that mentioned that the Flames had a rough night the night before. Let's see what they have left in the tank. And honestly, credit the Flames, right? This was a tough game for them. And this felt like the first game back from the road trip for the Golden Knights, Tony. As weird as that sounds. I know the first game back was Sunday, but the Golden Knights just came to town, Saturday night, maybe Sunday morning. I don't know what their travel schedule was after the game, the previous game. But point being is now the Golden Knights had a couple days at home to get, back with the families and just have some regular everyday life. This was the sleepy game for the Golden Knights. They still got their 2 points.
I love South Beach Bruce. However, he can't be talking about tricky bounces that the opponents are getting and how bad the puck luck is going. The puck luck's in your favor, okay?
I think it was just a Kadri goal.
You're going to Florida soon, okay? Just chill, man.
It was just the Kadri goal. I mean, the Kadri goal literally hit him in the rib cage. It hit him in the rib cage and went in.
Yeah, okay. So we've seen that happen before. Okay, yeah. And then VGK won for the third time being down in the third period this season, right? Philly and Dallas, the other two. So that's good that they came back and showed that term resiliency. Special teams again, 2 goals last night to none on the power play second period. Although VGK was playing well, they couldn't come out on top. And Cassidy had cited keeping the puck alive and said that the team found some space. They played low to high once again, and they did some good things. Oh, I have to ask you, there's so many things on my mind on this question here, but again, for the second consecutive game, some issues in the neutral zone for VGK. How do they solve those issues?
It's game 30. They got 52 games to figure it out. That might be my quote for a while right now. There was some issues in the neutral zone, but I also liked the Golden Knights attack in the neutral zone. That's kind of what led to the Golden Knights overtime winner. It's a weird spot where there's a bunch of players close together. The Golden Knights have the puck. They kind of turn the puck over. They get it back, and then there's Mark Stone just waiting at the red line, and the rest is kind of history from there. I think the neutral zone, it starts with the breakout. It starts with Alec Martinez, who is by far, in my opinion, the team's best passer to start the breakout. The first pass to the breakout is of absolute importance. If that first pass is a money pass, everything is good from there. If it's not in the right spot, then everything is set behind, including speed through the neutral zone. Shea Theodore is the team's best defensive puck carrier, the best offensive defenseman, however you want to chop that up right there. So not an excuse, it's a circumstance, blah, blah, blah. But it is reality that the Golden Knights are missing 2 very important parts of their blue line. Shea Theodore, I mean, theoretically, he could come back during the Florida road trip as far as the LTIR rules go. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Martinez not reported to be skating yet, so he's no less than probably a week away. But every day that goes by, he doesn't go on the ice, that number keeps on, going backwards a little bit. Adin Hill was reported to be on the ice, but not with the Golden Knights, skating on his own. So there is a shot Adin Hill is back. I would say the earliest for Sunday, this is just a guess, earliest is Sunday if he gets on the ice practicing with the Golden Knights Wednesday or Thursday. Probably more likely on the road trip, though.
Okay. Thomas Hertel the other night fell on Caden Korzak's leg.
I never saw this.
What is the update on him? And Braden Pahal trying to earn his name back onto the Stanley Cup if they go back to back. But again, do you know anything about the condition of Korzak? Has that been kind of
they asked about it, and the response was not a good one. It was
precautionary measure.
Well, it was a little worse than that. Even just we're still evaluating, waiting to see when his availability is going to be. Blah 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 blah. So it's not good. And it's just interesting, like the NHL injury rules and stuff. No disrespect to Korzak, but I don't know if he's necessarily the blue liner that other teams are prepping for as they're watching beat writers and stuff. But I get it. They got to be secretive. It's just how it works.
Coming up next, fans are wondering if Logan Thompson is wearing down. We'll talk about his workload and more when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. It's a good time to buy those Christmas stocking stuffers. Get those tickets now. And there are also deals on tickets right up until the start of the event, even an hour or so after it starts. It's the only place to find last-minute seats that are really good. And they've got something called zone deals, where you pick the section and Gametime picks the seats for an average of 18% savings. And the Gametime guarantee, that means that you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with the code LOCKEDONNHL, and you will get $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back from Las Vegas, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's a terrific stocking stuffer as well, okay, because it's free. And, of course, make sure that you check out WTF, What the Friday, coming up on Fridays. Saturday mornings, it's Chris and Chris Show, exclusively on our YouTube channel. What city am I in this morning? Okay, it's great to be back, though. It's good to be back home, Chris, and thanks so much for carrying the load, carrying the mail, as you say, carrying the mail.
I was carrying the mail. I had all these papers in front of me and stuff, and I needed a mail bag of my own to produce this dang thing. So no, I'm glad you're back, man. It was a good taste. It was a good taste.
It's teamwork. It's teamwork, bro. It is teamwork.
Hey, listen, I'm back drinking coffee and surfing the internet while I'm prepping the next segment. So life is good.
I just blabber on. Chris, do you see any slippage in the game for Logan Thompson? Let's go there.
Let's talk numbers before we talk anything. So,
is there slippage though? At least can you? At least
oh no, I think there's a little slippage. Not okay. If we're gonna start just on the eye test, I feel like I've tweeted a couple of times more frequently. Logan would want that one back. That's one that maybe he wants back. I feel like I've said that a few times. The first goal last night, I couldn't tell. Some people said Logan was screened by Haig. Some say it was kind of borderline.
No, I thought he was.
Okay,
the
and Haig
showed it. Yeah,
if he was screened, then Haig was definitely too deep, and you would like Logan to fight through that screen. No different than if it was a Flames player. But
like Haig even apologized. He even said, "Hey, it's like my bad."
Okay, good.
I screened you.
Good.
No,
then we'll hang that up. We'll hang that on Nick and move on from there. But the Sharon Govich goal, I believe, was the third goal of the game.
Yeah,
that one found a hole in the pads. That found a hole in the pads.
Well, it went off of his glove, his arm, and in. It wasn't well played at all.
Yeah, and now, but here's another takeaway. And Cassidy was kind of nice about it, but Alex Pietrangelo, that guy, Petro, we'll call him.
Petro.
Petro goes for a one-timer. good shot. It was actually probably a high danger chance by the time the dust settled. Puck just stops. I think Wolf made a save, and Petro was watching it. Petro became a passenger for a minute. Just that split second of him watching and waiting was enough time for the Flames to get down the ice really, really quick. So Pietrangelo could have had a little better effort after the shot, but I mean, what are you going to do? You definitely hope your goalie makes a save from the guy who was on the board. So, I mean, just an unfortunate kind of comedy of errors right there. But there's been other ones where we've been watching some games where like, okay. So from the eye test, yes, there's a little concern. I think it's fair to acknowledge that. Numbers are what matters. Logan's faced 129 shots in 5 starts since Adin went down, made 118 saves for a 914 save percentage, and no losses in regulation. So not overly concerned there. A little bit deeper dive here now. So Aiden's first, good.
Aren't those overtime and shootout games taking a toll on him as well? Because how many have they played? 11 overtime games or something like that as a team? How many? It's been a bunch.
Is it 11 is the number. 11 is the number.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know how many he's been in net for, but I'm just saying that especially now when they need him to have clean games and then just play regulation games, this is on a pace for a lot more overtime games than we saw out of VGK last season. Remember I said last year, oh, this team's not playing any OT games. So they won games last year in regulation, but this could take a toll, I think, on Logan Thompson as well.
No, 100%. And so just talking about Logan's splits. So through the first 21 games of the season, where's the Vancouver game?
What's he, something like 9-3-3? Is that still?
Yeah, no, his record's fine. But through the first 23 games of the season, Logan winds up having 10 starts. Okay. Now, over the last 6 games, he's had 5 starts. So his workload has more than doubled in a shorter time span. I think on one hand, Logan will probably tell you he likes it. He'll tell you that he likes having more starts and getting out there more. I think any NHL goalie will tell you that. There's a reason the Golden Knights locked up Adin Hill at 2 years and $4.9 per year. Not just for the workload management, but because they have a higher level of faith, I think, in Adin Hill than Logan Thompson. And I mean, is Logan slipping right now? Maybe a little bit. Is it due to the workload? Possibly. Is it due to the Golden Knights not playing their best hockey, which Mark Stone was kind of on going down that road a little bit? Yeah, Marchessault kind of alluded to that a little bit too. So on the other side of that, credit Logan for making the right saves, the timely saves. He's not getting that one more save necessarily right now, but he is making some good saves. And, you know, the important thing is, like you said, points in 9 straight. I think over the last 10, 6, 1, and 3. I mean, so it's not a bad thing if there's a little slippage out of Logan right now. If the team is slipping a little bit, we're talking about the team that has the most points in the NHL. And even though the points percentage is still kind of close with some teams, you're seeing the gap opening with points. And that matters a lot right now because, yes, the Golden Knights have played more games, but they've also banked those points. Whereas the Kings and the Rangers and the Bruins, in order to catch the Golden Knights in the standings, they got to win these games where the Golden Knights are going to catch up with some rest, which probably comes right around the Winter Classic, honestly.
I'm curious to see how the workload changes when Adin Hill comes back from his precautionary injury, what that rotation will look like. Hill, right, 10-2-2, 1.87, 935. Awesome. His last game, 6 games ago, November the 30th, against Vancouver. And the medical staff had to take him off. So kudos to you for saying, no, this can't just be precautionary, because the medical team took him off the ice.
Yeah, there's always more to it, you know, and when the medical team is coming out like that, like the medical team isn't taking into effect that Adin had a shutout going. They're not taking into effect the Golden Knights record. None of that matters. The medical team saw something in their conversations with Adin, something if he was checked out. And I don't know. I'm speculating on exactly how it came to fruition that he needed to come out of that game for precautionary measure. But I think a good question. I don't know if I'm going to head to practice today. They're off today. I was considering it tomorrow. We'll see how the day goes. But, the question is for Adin, if anyone wants to borrow this, if anyone's watching this right now, any of the media members, at what point did Adin Hill's injury go from precautionary to an actual injury? That's, a fair question. That's not poking the bear as far as, trying to, ask a tough question or anything like that, but it is asking for an honest update. That's not, that also doesn't piss anyone off, so to speak. There you go.
Right. Coming up next, we've got the new lines. We'll talk about that, them playing together. It's starting to pay off, and we'll get to that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Mark Stone scores a hat trick. Well, he almost did last night. VGK wins the Stanley Cup. And if you want to win 100 times your money, play daily fantasy hockey on the Sleeper app. That's right. These are all possible scenarios for this season. But to have a chance at winning big, you need to play daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper as the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL Network. Sleeper is our top choice for daily fantasy sports, especially daily fantasy hockey. With Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contest. And you just need to do your entries in just a matter of minutes. Actually takes under 1 minute, I'm told. So with studs like, again, Eichel and Stone and McDavid and Bedard, all you need to do is to pick more or less on stats for these stars. Choose stats like goals, assists, saves, plus, minus, and much, much more. You heard that, VGK fans, 100 times payouts at Sleeper. So start paying attention, get your picks right so you could win big. Again, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL and you will get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's Locked On NHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Welcome back to this Wednesday edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and the host of this show daily, Chris Kollick. We appreciate you tuning in, and thanks for making us your first listen. And thanks for the record numbers of downloads. Oh, my goodness. It's so much fun when we have all of this attention, if you will, with everyone tuning in and giving us some great comments. And WTF, we have a space for your comments, which are always great. And we definitely appreciate that. And make sure to check out the YouTube channel, which is Locked On Golden Knights. You had something to say?
No, I was smiling. I liked the commentary. I was enjoying the commentary.
Okay. For tomorrow's show, we're at the 30 game mark, so we could do the 30 game review. I didn't put that on the napkin yesterday on the flight.
Yeah, but why would you plan Why would you plan Thursday's show more than 3 hours in advance?
This is true. Good point. Okay. I think also on an upcoming show, because I was down in Atlanta at the ECHL rink. Oh, no. At the barn. I have to call it the barn, right?
That probably was a barn.
Yeah, they were asking me if VGK can repeat. I said, yeah. No, okay, let's get back to biz. Okay, Marchessault and Stone. The line switch.
Carlson guy, he's crushing it up there.
He's making up for the last 5 years of inactivity. Marchessault and Stone, the line switch is working out for both players. Chris, you asked how the change has affected both of them. The Marchessault comments I heard, Marchessault with Chandler and with Howden, he said it doesn't matter who you play with, just play the right way, which I thought was a really good answer. And he said Jack and Barbashev, they struggled some together on that line. And he mentioned this to you. And he said that he's found his stride, more or less, with Stevenson. So let's start there with the switch of these two players.
Yeah, so I think it was Ken from Sinbad that made the comment that Chandler Stevenson is Mark Stone's center. You saw Stevenson and Mark Stone attached for a very long time together in this lineup, and it was the right move. Obviously, the team won a Stanley Cup like that last year, so it's okay. The Canadian road trip happens 2 weeks and change ago, 2 weeks and 2 days ago, and it was time to stop being snake bitten and whatever terminology you want to throw in there for the team not being able to score. So Carlson came up, I think, to the second line. Stevenson was down to the third line, and then Stevenson was on the wing. Just they were tinkering with a lot of things, and now it's gone to basically simply Marchessault and Mark Stone switching spots in the lineup. That's pretty much the key change that has happened among the forwards. And starting with Marchessault, again, the comment, he's finding his stride with Chandler Stevenson. And it was funny. I think there was 2 different times in the game I was about to tweet that Stevenson and Marchessault, you can really see their chemistry starting. And then like the Flames score a goal or the Golden Knights score a goal. It's like, oh, delete, start a new tweet, and there we go. So you can see the creativity as they're coming across the neutral zone, making that entry across the blue line. And I mean, Marchessault's numbers, you just look at his game log, 3 points, 2 points, no points, 1 point, 1 point, 2 points. That's not a bad little 6-game run right there. 2, 3, 4, 7, 9 points in the last 5, 6 games, whatever that math was right there. And you like what you're seeing. Shifting to the Mark Stone side, the only concern Stone brought up with his new line mates is who rushes the net, Barbashev or Stone. And that's fair, obviously. What I see out of Barbashev's game right now, he's the benefit. I mean, time and space, right? If you find a way to get time and space, you're going to have a great NHL career, whether you're forward, defenseman, doesn't matter. You'll have a great career. Barbashev is the beneficiary of time because Eichel's going to get the puck. He's going to carry. He's going to wait for someone to get open. No one gets open, fine. He's going to go back to the blue line, go back behind that and do it again. So that's the time portion. The space portion is Mark Stone. Mark Stone's game right around the bumper is probably the best on the Golden Knights. Barbashev is in that category too. But Mark Stone, I think, is probably the best talent the Golden Knights have from those really dirty, high-danger areas. So that leaves Barbashev. Barbashev can find those sneaky areas like on the inside of the face-off circles or even a little bit deeper because everyone's collapsing on Mark Stone. Everyone's waiting to see what Eichel's going to do with the puck. Barbashev is going to find plenty of time and space as a result. And Barbashev, 6 points in games 1 through 21 or something like that. 7 points in games 22 through 30. So all of a sudden things are starting to click there a little bit.
It was kind of funny. Marchessault did tell Stone to get his breakaway speed going before the goal.
That conversation did not happen. That is so funny, though, the way he does that. It's so funny. There is no chance he said that, but I think it's so like maybe it did happen,
funny.
But it was so funny. It was so funny. Marchessault is a great soundbite.
Are these lines going to stick?
I think so. I mean, why not?
Remember last year, all the tinkering that Cassidy did before he went to South Beach and became officially South Beach Bruce. I mean, he does need to take Logan Thompson to the beach with him. He deserves a little break.
So as far as the tinkering of the lines, I mean, how many times, Tony, from like game 10 of last year's regular season to game 60, did we say right here on this podcast that the Golden Knights do not have a player in the system that can play with Jack Eichel?
Yeah,
that was the one thing that concerned me with Pacioretty leaving. I really wanted to see a full season of Eichel and Pacioretty on the same line. Pacioretty and Barbashev have a similar game. Pacioretty maybe not as physical, but they do have a similar game. And now you saw what Barbashev brought to Jack Eichel's line, and now you see what Mark Stone is bringing to that line. That was there's something happening there. And then Barbashev comes in, obviously, with the Golden Knights around game 58, 60, 60, whenever the trade deadline ended. And it took a little while for that chemistry to get there, but it did. So I think what you're seeing right now is pretty close to what you might see. Obviously, injuries and anything else, that could happen between now and basically April. But if the season ended today, these are the lines tomorrow. No questions asked. No questions asked.
Well, Petro and Barbie, as they call him, Barbashev, coach killers, of course. Berube out in St. Louis because of their departures. They don't have,
it's their fault. Yeah, they're gone. Yeah, once
they don't have any talent there for Berube. They don't have much left in the tank.
It's just time for a new voice. I mean, the Stanley Cup probably bought him like 2 extra years than
next coach
he probably should have had.
Is he going to be the next coach here after Cassidy just the tanks next year?
We were lightly having a discussion about that afterwards, and because you do see how these coaches that do have these deep runs. I mean, let's start with a little more localized here. Gerard Gallant's, right? Mm-hmm. Season 1, Stanley Cup final. Season 2, not a major fine, whatever. It's unfortunate. Season 3, a 4-game losing streak. Bye-bye. So the point is, there is a harsh reality that Blues fans had to acknowledge. Golden Knights fans once already did acknowledge, and they will have to acknowledge it again. This is the life of an NHL coach. You are being hired to be fired. And just because Cassidy won a Stanley Cup and he's an awesome human, it's great interacting with him. And I think the media absolutely loves every second they get out of him because he's one of the best sound bites probably in the NHL as far as honest and forthcoming and not treating you like you're nobody. There's a lot of coaches that are a lot worse like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, but if things change, if things do go wrong, some of these players with these bigger contracts are going to get a little bit older. The team's going to slow down at some point. And whether it's a Cassidy issue 3 or 4 years from now, or even 2 or 3 years from now, or a personnel issue, and this might be time for a new voice. Like, that's the reality of the NHL. People are going to get mad. Our comments are going to light up, and they're going to twist what I just said. But just look at the lifespan of an NHL coach. Take every other equation out. You got 32-ish coaches that start the year, and then it goes up and down from there. 2.5, 3 years is a good run for a lot of NHL coaches right now.
We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. Tomorrow on the show, let's do the grades for the 30-game review. Of course, when we do this, like 10 other stories break out, and then we never get to it. So we shouldn't plan like
There's
that.
no practice today. So, I mean, unless it's like national stories, we should be able to hold the line with this, but we'll see.
All right. And don't forget, WTF, What the Friday, each and every Friday with your comments, which are unbelievable. And Saturday, it's Chris and Chris, the show that is exclusively seen on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. Subscribe there. For my man, Chris Golick, it's great to see you again, bro. I'm Tony Cardasco. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
No, take care. Take care.
Take care.